Or is it just me?
Oh, I get nervous every time. I've already done it like 3 or 4 times, and I still get nervous. How's the echo situation? Is it still?
Yeah, I think you are still kind of echoing.
Let me.
I mean, it's not unbearable.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah. That's way better.
Okay.
I like your rainbow shelves.
Thank you.
I'm not that organized. I'm so boring. I do it like the library way.
So I do it on my, like, so I have a shelf in front of me as well, and I do it like alphabetized that way.
Yeah.
But it just looks so nice.
It does. I'm so jealous. I think I could probably do it for a week and then I'd have to put it back.
Yeah. It makes it like hard to find books because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a red or I'm pretty sure it's a yellow spine, but sometimes
But
it's
then there are just like
yellow.
so many colors
Yeah.
of the same.
Yeah.
I can hear you guys now. Hi, I'm Jan.
Hi.
So where are you from, Emily? Are we live? Oh my god, we're live. Hi.
Yeah. I'm originally from hi. I lived in London for my whole life. So city girl, but then I just recently, like a few months ago, moved to like the countryside. So I live like 2 minutes away from a farm. I can hear lambs all the time. It's very weird. Whereabouts are you guys from?
So I'm in Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm in Ontario. So
I'm from Illinois. I lived in Indiana for 3 years, so I know what it's like living by like farm land.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit smelly sometimes, but like it's kind of like the pollution of the city is really, really bad, and then like you're expected to come out here and be like, it's clean air, but no, it's just farm smell. But it's all good.
No. Listen, I tried, okay? Borderline troll vibes, but it's fine.
No, I think it's cute.
Thanks. I just got it done yesterday.
it looks so
It looks
good.
amazing. Yeah, the blue.
I wanted it more like reddish purple, not blue purple, but it's fine. Whatever.
I mean, it is like, it's quite like violet, I guess.
Yeah.
It's nice. Do you think it will like fade into like a lighter purple, I suppose? Hello from Germany.
Cool.
I always wanted to like move to Berlin, and I watched Unorthodox, and now I'm like really wanting to move there. But I'm really bad at languages, so that might be difficult.
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
I don't know. It should be.
Oh, there we
Can you
go.
hear me
Yeah,
now?
we can hear you. Maybe it's like a dodgy connection with the.
It might be the
Yeah.
microphone thing. I'll do it this way then. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think Berlin is one of those cities where they speak a lot of English. I've heard at least.
Yeah, I mean, I visited like 2 years ago, and it was so easy. But I feel like I'd be ashamed of myself. I'd be ashamed of myself if I didn't at least try.
Got some hair tips.
Clarifying shampoo. I bought $35 freaking color holding shampoo.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I don't know.
So is it like a semi-permanent, Jan, or like is it gonna wash out?
Yeah. Whoa, you sounded so Canadian there.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone always says that like
Have you guys
Canadians
watched
have
The Next
accents,
Step?
but I never like hear it with Canadians.
I
But I
just
guess it's
hear
the same with like Americans when I go there.
I just hear it when Canadians say out or like about.
Yeah. I can tell straight away. I don't know. I never used to, but after I watched The Next Step, I don't know if you guys have seen The Next Step. It's like this CBBC like kids show about dancing, and it's from Canada, so everyone has a Canadian accent, and it is like out. You have to turn out your legs. So now I just have like the ear for it.
Everyone says I have a Chicago accent, and like I didn't know what that was until my boyfriend started calling me out on it, and now I hear it all the time, and it bothers me.
Yeah, I'm really bad with like the rest of like the USA. I can't detect different languages. I mean, different accents. Even with like the UK where I'm from, I should be able to like know where people are from accents. No, I honestly so bad.
But you can tell Canadian.
I've recently been able to tell between Australian and New Zealand accents, so that was a good accomplishment for me.
Isn't it like the vowels? It's like pin and pen, pin. Don't eat that. I should stop.
I inhaled dust earlier, and I'm like dying.
Okay, that's good. I have hope.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've heard a lot about Germany and Holland being really good for like English speakers. And I mean, technically Denmark as well, but it depends where you go.
Oh, I really want to live in a Scandi country. I'm thinking Finland, but I don't know.
I don't know much about Finland. I know that like Sweden, maybe not so great if they ever have a pandemic again, because they've not been dealing with it very well. Norway is supposed to be really nice, but it gets like literally like minus 20 or something.
Yeah. So I have like relatives in Sweden and Finland on like different sides of my family. And in Sweden, literally they were like, yeah, no, it's just normal here. We're going to school. Everything's like the same. Yeah. In Finland, that was better. Pandemic wise, they stayed home. But it's just such a nice place. Everyone's so chilled out. There's so much space. And yeah, Norway is lovely, but the temperature might be a problem.
I've been to France and Spain, and I was born.
This is my dad.
I've been to Canada.
Nice. Where in Canada?
Toronto.
Nice. I'm close to there.
What is everyone reading?
Should I start?
Yeah.
I'm trying to finish City of Ghosts.
Ooh,
nice.
I love that cover. I've never seen the UK cover.
Well, it's because I think that they've only, at least for the last book, I've only seen this cover. They also have the other one. Like, you can still get the other one, but you can't get, like, I don't know if it's the US one or if it's just a different UK cover. You can't get it in the third one. So I was like, I have to get it in that one. So it all fits.
Does anyone else hear that tea kettle squealing? Or is that just me?
Yeah, stop now, though. Is it stopped?
Yeah.
You guys, yeah.
I think it's whenever Chloe talks.
Oh my god, why can't I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Going.
I thought we were making tea at first, but every time you talk, I don't know what it is. It's like super high pitched.
Wait.
I'm stressed for you. You're doing great. We can't hear you. You're muted though.
No.
Oh yeah. There we go.
There we
go. Okay, that's good.
Is there still an echo?
No.
No, actually.
Okay, okay, that's fine then.
I don't know. Well, Kat's here. Hello, Kat.
Let me just go through these. Currently reading Red Queen. Is that the one that's the retelling of Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because there's another Red Queen, I'm pretty sure. That was super popular back in the day, but.
Wait, is it Alice in Wonderland? I thought it was Snow. Hold on, maybe I'm hallucinating.
Well, the Red Queen is from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh no, the one I'm thinking about is by Victoria Aveyard.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
I don't know what this one is. But I'm reading Watching You by Lisa Jewell.
What's that about?
Someone gets murdered in the kitchen in Bristol. I'm literally on chapter 3. I don't know. I love this author though. I read three of her other books. Oh my god, I just finished Every Value Breaks. Steph, didn't you read that?
Yeah.
Oh, I read that as well.
What'd you guys think?
4 weeks ago.
I gave it 4 stars.
Nice.
What'd you give?
I gave it 3.
I gave it 3.75 just because I know I'm still like a 5.75 rater. I know. I don't think you are, Jan, right? Like you do.
No.
Yeah. I liked it, but I was able to predict a lot of what was going on.
Really? I
So
didn't.
I think that kind of lowered it for me, but
I was shook the entire time. I loved it.
have you read anything else by Peter Swanson?
No, I want to now though, except 8 Perfect Murders because apparently it like spoils other things.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You should read Before She Knew Him, or what's the other one that I really like? I'll find it, but it's really good.
The only other one that I read by him was 8 Perfect Murders. Is that what it's called? I think there's 2 different titles. There's either 8 Perfect Murders or Rules for Perfect Murder, but I don't know why there's 2 different ones.
No,
but
8
apparently
Perfect
that
Murders
has spoilers for other books, but I didn't like catch on to it. Obviously, I hadn't read any of the other ones.
A Kind Worth Killing, or The Kind Worth Killing, is like my favorite by him. So
Okay. Yeah, Every Vow You Break kind of reminded me of A Simple Favor. If you know, you know. Have you ever seen that with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick? Oh my god.
Oh, I really wanted to, but I didn't. I feel like because my mom and my sister said like they didn't get it, but I'd still watch it.
They didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. They just like didn't understand, like they didn't like it, I guess. It just wasn't their thing.
Okay.
Oh, I love Lock Every Door. It is
it was really good.
It was one of my favorite books of last year for sure.
Have you read any of his? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wish I read it physically because I read it on audio and I feel like I would have had a much better time if I read it physically. But I still read it. Yes, I read Home Before Dark. And
I haven't read that yet, but I read his other 2, like the first 3, including Lock Every Door. And I think Lock Every Door was probably my favorite.
Me too.
I own his first 2 books, but I haven't gotten to them yet. I think I'm gonna do a vlog at some point. What was it called? The Kind Worth Killing.
It's like, yeah, I think it's The Kind Worth Killing.
Okay. It has a 4-star rating on Goodreads on average.
I think that's my favorite by him.
Okay.
What are you reading, Steph?
I haven't started anything, but I'm going to be reading, I think, Tender is the Flesh.
I really want to read that.
Yeah, I've had it on my radar forever, and I just picked it up from the library, so I think I'm going to start this. And then on audio, I'm listening to The Chain. Have you guys read that?
Yes!
Yeah, I have.
No, oh my god,
I'm literally dying.
I'm
literally dying. I'm like, I can't. It's like literally a movie playing out. So
I read it physically and it went by so fast. Part 2, like the beginning of part 2 was so bad, but like the ending is still fine. I didn't really care. I still gave it, I think, 5 stars.
Okay. I'm loving it so far. So
yeah. Yeah. Loved it. What are you reading, Emily?
I'm reading Little Fires Everywhere.
Yeah.
I started like last week, but I think I'm in a tiny bit of a reading slump. I don't know. But I just keep getting distracted by things. I'm a bit busy. So I'm happy we're doing this because it's going to force me to read it. And I really want to. It's not like I don't want to read it. I just need time to like sit down and actually like get into it because I know I'm going to love it.
The writing is so good. Have you seen the show? The show is so
No.
good.
I'm going to though after I read it.
I watched it first, I think. No, I didn't. That's a lie. Never mind. I read Little Fires Everywhere in a day though. The writing is so good. That last chapter. Her other book sucks though. I didn't like it. Everything I Never.
Did you not? I liked it.
Oh no.
I think I gave it 5 stars.
Well, did you read it first before Little Fires Everywhere, or did you read Little?
Yeah,
Fires?
I haven't read Little Fires Everywhere
Oh,
yet.
yeah, see, that's why.
Oh, it's like not as good. When was it published? Was it like which one came first?
Everything
It
was
Everything I Never Told You. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I read them backwards. That's why I was disappointed. But
Yeah. Maybe I won't pick it up then. I don't want to like ruin it because I can already tell it's going to be like good because the writing is just amazing. I just finished Serpent and Dove. Well, I finished it a while ago. But I hated it. I hated it so much. It was so annoying. I literally was just like, this is bad. This is so bad. I got like 200 pages in and I was like, it's all right. And then I just watched it decline and it was so painful.
Blood and Honey was kind of bad. But I met the author for Serpent and Dove and she's so nice. She's the only author I've ever met. But like, I love Serpent to Dove. I read it in like 2 days. It was so good.
I mean, I read it quickly. It was like a quick read, but I just kept wanting to fix the book. I was just like, I wish I'd been the editor because I feel like I could have. I don't know. I'm a bit big for my boots when it comes to that, but I just really wanted like my next book to be like really well written after that because I was so frustrated. So I want to. Yeah, I'm glad I picked that up. It's definitely giving me what I need.
I just like the vibes of it. I could see why the writing sucked. But
I think it's just the pacing of the romance. Like I didn't get it. I didn't get the characters. I was just like, who are you people?
that's how I was in the second one because they introduced so many characters, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I can't be bothered for that.
I want the third one still though because it's so pretty. Gods and Monsters.
Why do the covers have to be so nice when the book is just not good? That's one that I gave 2.75 stars.
See, I haven't read it yet, but I literally all over BookTube, that's exactly the reaction. You either love it or people are like, this is terrible.
It's so bad.
It's
Yeah, that's what
for Six of Crows.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. For Nina and Matthias. It's fan fiction.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes.
Interesting. See, like I didn't hear anyone say a bad word about it, so I went in with such high expectations. Also, Sarah J. Maas blurbed it, and like when I went into it, I was kind of in that headspace of like Sarah J. Maas really liked that, and then I just kept feeling like I was reading a Sarah J. Maas book that was just like really badly written, and it was a bad experience.
I'm still reading ACOWAR. I'm like literally like 30 pages in. Maybe I should read that today.
I love that series so much.
My TBR is scary for April. Like it's not even what I have 6 days. Oh my god.
How many books have you got left?
Like 8.
Oh, God.
Literally. I think I'm gonna do ACOWAR. It's okay. We all knew I was gonna fail.
Is anyone else doing this? I remember this is one of the first readathons that I ever sort of heard of when I started watching BookTube, but I've never participated in it.
No, my friends and I are doing a 24-hour readathon now, but just like on our own.
I've done so many recently that I'm like, I can't do another one. Done so many all-nighters. I'm like, I kind of need to get my sleep schedule back on track because I have uni work to do. So
I slept like 6 hours, but
yeah, I feel like if I ever did a 24-hour readathon that I would be out cold because if I'm tired, like anything I read, it's just like not getting processed into my brain. So
the latest I stayed up was 6 a.m. for a 24-hour readathon.
Yeah, I did an all-nighter for the last one I did an all-nighter, and like, and it ended at like 2 p.m. as well, so it wasn't even like I could just go to sleep because I had to keep my sleeping, so I had to just stay awake until like 9. I don't know how I did it because reading always puts me to sleep and makes me sleepy, but I did. It was a decision that I made. I'm probably never going to do that again.
It's because when I read in bed is when I get sleepy. But if I read like at my desk or on my couch, I'm fine to stay up.
I think I'm doing physical things as well during the readathon. Like anytime I've vlogged it, especially, I always do like dance parties. Just to like get the adrenaline pumping again, because otherwise it's just like whenever I feel really, really sleepy, I'm like, okay, time to get up and dance. I hate myself.
Yeah, I know Emma from Drinking by My Shelf was like doing squats every chapter.
Oh yeah.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah, so if anyone's doing a 24-hour readathon, there are our tips. Good luck.
When do you guys want to start reading? We've been going for 20 minutes, so I don't know. What's the time now? We could start like on the hour if you guys want to talk for another 10 minutes. And then I don't know like how you guys feel about with like the timing and stuff like that, how long you usually like to go for sprints, because I'm sort of versatile, like I'll do anything.
I normally do like 15 to 20 minutes, but like I really don't mind.
I'm good for like 30 to 40.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
we could start with the 20 and then go up afterwards, maybe.
I mean, I honestly don't mind. We can do longer if you guys want.
It's up to you.
What does the chat think?
Oh yeah, anyone out there want to? I don't know.
Because you guys want to be reading
one. There's just one more. That's very nice to help people stay on schedule. If I can do anything. Oh, Emily
Any-
just
I don't. It keeps happening. They just don't want to see my face. It's so rude. Okay, so no one has any thoughts. So
No.
should we do it for like 25? Meet in the middle, 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's good. Middle ground is always good.
Mhm.
I'm down for whatever.
So how many books have you guys read this year? Because I know you guys are all really fast readers.
Oh, you should ask the two down at the bottom because they're really fast.
I think
No,
we're probably
Chloe,
around the
you've read
same.
so much. Sorry?
I'm at like 70. I think me and Jan are pretty well the same.
I just hit 70 today.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't actually know. Let me confirm with my.
So I've read, I think, 9.
Okay, but I'm not in college. Like I'm out of college, so that's a lot, like to handle. Like I never read as much in college at all.
Yeah, but like I do also think I can normally it takes me for like a good size book, like a 300 to 400 page book, it probably takes me like a week and a half to get through it, just like normally. And then also I get like I don't know what it is, like fatigued after reading a book, so I always need like a week. I get so like intense with it most of the time, so I need to like clear my headspace before jumping in. So I'm always just like not reading that much, which is great for being a booktuber.
Do you read audiobooks, Emily?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, quite often. I mean, I read the whole Vampire Academy series last year, Audible, and that was amazing. That was a big help.
Yeah, I find that that's like a huge part of how I read. Like when I look at what I read physically, it's like probably about the same as you, like a week and a half it takes me, but I have a pretty long commute to work and I can listen to audiobooks at like a very high speed. Well, like at 3 times speed because that's just what it maxes out at. So like
Yeah, no, same. Yeah.
Yeah, so
fast.
it's so quick, right? Like even like a 10-hour book, you're finishing it in like a couple hours.
Yeah, literally. That's what I do. I just make up for my slowness with the listening because I'm always like 2 to 2.5 times speed is like my go-to.
Yeah, I can only listen to higher than 2.5 if I'm following along.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just listening to it, it'd be like 2 to 2.5. Yeah. But
I can't follow along that fast because my brain doesn't read words fast enough for that, which is why I read so slow, is because like my brain takes longer to like recognize the words. So it would literally be like I would literally be reading and not understanding what the words say. So like I just listen to it and that's how I do it. But I know a lot of people who do read along with it.
yeah, I just started doing that this year. I just started listening to audiobooks like halfway through last year because I think that's when I started using Libby more. But yeah, they help a lot. I hate ebooks though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of ebooks either.
I don't think I've ever read one. Ever.
Really?
That doesn't appeal to me.
Like I have
just
a Kindle in case I go on vacation because I think that they're like super convenient for that. You don't have to pack like 50 books, but yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, I only read them if like I can't get the book anywhere else. I don't want to spend money, whatever, and I read them through Libby or like NetGalley arcs. Also, Emily, what's your channel?
My channel,
Hmm.
it is the Three Bears Book Cottage. The longest fucking channel name ever.
But it's so cute. It's such a cute name.
I came up with this and I was like, this is gonna cause me so many problems, but I'm just gonna do it because again, I hate myself.
I love it. Okay, I'm subscribed.
Well, at least it's a bit more creative than like some of us.
Well, in my defense, I didn't start as a booktube channel, so.
Oh my god, your channel history is like just loads of stuff, right? And then the books.
Yeah, and then I found my niche. And then
Oh,
Right.
that's sweet.
Yeah, that's why I just kept it as my name, because then I could just like
Mm.
brand, because I knew I didn't know what I wanted to do when I started my YouTube. So.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the best way to go because you should like try different things. I mean, I did
Yeah.
a little bit because I have another channel which is just my name. But then I did one booktube video, which was like my second video ever, and I was like, nope, I'm doing booktube. This is what I want to do. So then I made a separate channel.
Yeah, I did like guitar covers at first, and then I did like fashion videos, and then just like life vlogs,
Hmm.
Vlogmas and stuff, which sucked. Like awful
Well,
vlog.
I tried that when I was like 13, and then it stopped, and then I was like, we're getting rid of that. No one's ever allowed to see that. And then I just started afresh.
I just keep them up for the memes, but I privated all the ones with like my exes in them, and
Ooh, I've never had that problem. I'm grateful in that aspect. Why? My love life is so dry.
I have all my exes on my Instagram though, because I post every day. So like I don't want my numbers getting skewed if I delete them.
Oh,
I want to
damn.
be able to say like, oh, I posted every day since 2014. So then if anyone wanted to fact check that, like Emily's just like, bye.
I've never been in well, I have been in one relationship, but relationships come up in conversation. I'm like, I'm so lonely.
Oh,
But damn, that must be I guess you don't scroll back through your feed, I suppose.
yeah.
Your exes are there.
I only scroll back if like I keep them up because like people, you'll be surprised how much it comes up in conversation where I'd have to scroll through my Instagram to remember something that happened. I'm like, oh, it's on this date, and it's like it's kind of fun. So.
It's like a second, what is it? Second every day
Yeah,
in a
I've
year.
done that too. I started this year, but I got as far as like beginning of March. And then I'm like, I give up.
But Jan, you posted a video of like a day every, yeah.
Last year, yeah, I did it almost every day last year, but I had to delete some too because I didn't want my exes in it. So
And then so do you just pull the pictures that you post on Instagram and do it that way?
no, they were all video clips. I would literally go like 1 second. You want to be my 1 second video? Okay.
Oh my god, this is so annoying. Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with me disappearing every 5 minutes.
You're not even like clicking on anything, it just disappears.
No, it just is like bye. And I have to like it just stops my camera. I'm like rude.
Interesting. There's a ghost.
I'm just like not consistent enough to do that because I literally lasted I think a week doing the 1 second clips. And then I forgot, and I was just like, well, this is rubbish. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
It's hard. I already do daily photos. I'm not going to remember to do daily videos too. I thought about it and I was like, I could just take clips from my vlogs, but that is so much work that I'm not going to do because I daily vlog for the most part. But.
And like, for what? Like, what is so you get to like look back at the end of the year, like, is it really worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool when you like edit it out and stuff. It looks cool because I've done it and it's only like 7 minutes for a whole ass year. And I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's an hour almost.
Oh. Yep.
I'm boring, so I just use the banner.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like
I
sharing.
know loads of other people. I know Sean does that whole like setup, the elaborate thing with all the ambience and everything, but
Yeah, I don't.
Nah, the banner's fine. Oh my god, I could hear my voice just then.
Same.
Oh, I hate it. I hate hearing my own voice. Which is funny because I talk so much. I'm really sorry about that, by the way.
Don't be sorry.
Right, we ready?
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. I went so fast.
How did everyone's reading go? Oh.
I read like 15 pages, I think. And I read this because like it was a shorter sprint, and I'm not annotating this because it's a library book. And it's so weird. Like this girl's like crushing on this older guy, and I think he's like a professor, you know. But she was like, the way he clicks his pen all the time is so hot. And I was like,
That's annoying.
Chloe, how much did you read?
I think I read like 40 pages, but it's going so fast. I think it's just because it's middle grade and everything. And
Yeah,
I'm going
it's
to
such a
read
fast
middle
pace.
grade. So when I go from reading like YA or adult and then suddenly reading middle grade, it's like, wow, I can read so fast. But I can't. It's just the book.
I think that's the only book that I've ever managed to read in one sitting.
I read that whole series. I love it. It's so cute. I don't read.
Yeah, I
one of
still
the
need to
only-
read the third book.
It's one of the only middle grades that I'll read, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I'll read The Girl Who Drank the Moon and Amari and the Night Brothers. But other than that, I'm not really into middle grade.
Which one was your favorite in the series, Jan?
The second one. I love Paris.
Really? Oh my
That's
god!
funny because Edinburgh and New Orleans are like my two favorites. Like Paris is a bit like, but I think maybe it's like closer to where I am now, so I'm not that bothered about it or something.
I feel like I was kind of I don't want to say this, but I was kind of disappointed with Paris. I don't know. I think it was like the vibe of Edinburgh was like much more my thing, because I felt like the Paris one, it was almost like bougie. Whereas like Edinburgh was like really creepy. Like they were in this like dark like bed and breakfast, like really cozy vibes. I think the vibe shift wasn't my favorite, but I don't know. Maybe the third one will like pull it back up, because I still really enjoyed the second one.
Yeah, the third one was pretty good. I don't know. The second one I was like into it, and I loved Jacob, so he was like still super funny.
Yes. Oh my god, Jacob.
Yeah. I like the catacombs. Like I always thought they were interesting.
Have you ever visited them?
No, I think I went to France on like a school trip.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember why we didn't go. I think it was on the itinerary and like we ran out of time or something. But
I mean, the line's normally pretty long, but like when me and my mum went, I made sure to go there because my French teacher was like, "You have to."
was it scary? Did you like
It was terrifying. Like the way it's described in the book is completely accurate. Like you can definitely get lost down there, but there are like big gates. So you can't. It's just like one stream of passage. But yeah, it's like really scary, and they're just human bones everywhere.
Oh my god. Yeah, I bet.
Oh wait.
26 pages. Wow. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, I'll quickly go through. Question from my dad, if anyone's read Fahrenheit 451, and he didn't. I don't think that's how you spell Fahrenheit, but whatever.
I haven't, but I want to. I've been recommended it a lot.
I have not either.
I think I did in like 7th grade, but I don't remember it.
I'm planning on it this summer.
I want to read a lot more classic dystopian, so this is definitely on the list. I don't know. I think my dad maybe just looked up some random books because he doesn't read. I don't know where he's got this book name from.
Oh, is this actually your dad?
This is my dad.
I love that. Big Daddy
And,
J.
Everyone calls him that. Everyone calls him that. Like even just random. Okay, maybe not random people, but like friends and stuff like that. That's just his name.
Obsessed. Oh my god. I love that.
Well, I have read 1984, and because I read it for school, I hated it. But I feel like if I hadn't have read it for school, I would have liked it. I just resented it, I was so bitter.
Yeah.
I just read Animal Farm, actually, and when I read it, I was kind of like, nah, it's a classic. I'm not a classic person, but the more I thought about it after I finished it, I was like, this book is incredible.
Yeah.
Really good. I read that one for school too, and I actually like understood it. And I'm not like a big politics person, but
Mm-hmm.
I got it. But I have this novelog poster. It's like a scratch off poster. It has classics on it, so that's like my motivation for reading classics. And Gilmore Girls reading list. If you guys watch Gilmore Girls, I love Gilmore Girls.
I've watched like a few episodes because my sister was watching it, but I feel like, yeah, it's not my thing, unfortunately, which I'm sad about because like so many people love it, so I'd want to, but no, I'm so
I love
sorry.
Gilmore Girls. I love like the humor in Gilmore Girls.
Yes, because it's so like subtle and like
Yes.
fast and
Yeah.
funny, and I just love it so much. It's my comfort show for sure.
Oh, maybe it's like because I don't have like the nostalgia, possibly.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
that
Reading City of Ghosts, just to answer that question.
That's amazing that you read that fast. I read I think I read 7 pages.
I ended up reading 14. I got to chapter 3 and then I like skipped ahead and saw that I would not be able to finish the chapter before the sprint. So I was like, I'll just do other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely that person as well who, if I know I can't finish the chapter, I have to finish.
I stop like mid sentence.
You give me so much anxiety. Like
Literally, I'm like, oh, I'm sleepy. I'm not even gonna finish the sentence. And the thing is, the next day, like when I wake up, I know exactly where I've left off. I don't even start the sentence over.
Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Have you done the reading habits tag yet? I can't remember if you've done that. I need to go back and watch that. I feel like it's. Is it a very chaotic video? Like, have you got a lot of like unpopular opinions when it comes to reading?
For me,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I've done it. I just did it recently.
I just posted mine too.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I didn't get too much backlash. I think. But
Maybe I should do it, but I feel like I don't think I do anything strange or like anything that people would like have a problem with. So it'll probably be like such a boring video.
Oh, I don't do anything controversial either, but I was just like, I made it as like my first video. So
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to do that.
yeah. Also, there's like questions about why you've. Oh wait, no. Reading habits. That was a complete. I'm thinking of a different one.
Is that the BookTuber newbie
Oh,
tab?
there's also there's questions. I think there might be questions about like how you got into reading or something like that, or like where you read. I don't know.
I think that's the newbie tag. I'm
That's the
pretty
newbie
sure.
tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I should
Oh,
probably
just-
also do.
It's like a rite of passage at this point.
Yeah, oh my god, I need to get on that. Maybe I should do it next. But
I've never done it.
Yeah, I think it's just a good introduction, I suppose. It's a good place to start. I feel like making your first video is very intimidating. So
Yeah.
if there's like a designated video that you make, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like I wasn't new on YouTube when I started BookTube, so I was like, why am I doing this? So or why am I doing this? What's your channel again? Naomi's asking. The Big Three Bears.
Oh, it's the Three Bears Book Cottage.
Book Cottage. Okay. She was asking me on Instagram.
Oh,
The Big Three Bears.
I love that.
Oh, could you imagine if Goldilocks and the Three Bears just had three big bears instead of 3 different size ones, and they were all like, "Yeah, this is too small for me."
Oh my god.
Cool.
So how's your like books going? How's everyone feeling about the books so far?
I'm really enjoying mine, but like I'm nearly done. I think I've got like 50 pages left or something, so it's going good.
I don't even know. I'm also reading like 7 books right now, so
How many? 7.
7.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's like my brand. Like everyone knows that. But Yeah, I don't know. I just finished Every Vow You Break, so like going from one thriller to another is kind of weird. But so I don't
I've
know.
never read a thriller. Thrillers, I mean, I'm gonna say thrillers aren't my thing, but I guess if I've never read
Have you-
one, I can't really say
Have
that.
you never read like a single one? You haven't even like tried. Wow.
No. I haven't. I'm so sorry.
Start with
Ooh.
My
I feel
Lovely
like I feel like I need to come up with like a master list of the ones that you need to read.
Please do.
Yeah. We could definitely recommend some good ones for sure.
Okay, please do, because it's about time that I expand. I need to get away from like the really hyped YA books that, like everyone talks about. I mean, those are great, but like when they're all I read, I think I have a problem. I need to like
I mean,
get myself sorted.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I
No.
feel like thrillers would help you read faster too if that's what you want to do. So fast paced and their like chapters are always so short, and I'm like a big short chapter fan here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll help.
So Emily, is that what you normally read then? Is just like YA?
Yes, I guess. I mean, this is the thing though, like because I don't read like so much. It's really weird. Like I love books so much, but because of the reading pace thing, I'm not able to read that much. So yeah, pretty much most of what I read is YA. Mostly like YA fantasy, I guess. But like I said, like now I'm older, I'm trying to just read books for older people because I definitely want to like read better written books. I don't really know how to say that, but how you like grow out of book phases that you're in. That's like definitely what I'm doing right now. So I'm trying to look for books that are more kind of suitable for what I want to read right now. But yeah, just exploring.
Yeah.
If I was going to recommend like one thriller author, I'd say John Mars. Off of the top of my head, the 3 books that I've read by him have been great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of his. I'm reading the one, hopefully before the end of April, but
So good.
I would recommend My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing, or The Last Flight by Julie Clark, or Goodnight Beautiful by Amy Malloy.
I should be taking notes right now.
Just remember it all.
I think my problem is this is such a stupid problem to have, but I don't want to read a book if there's no romance in it. So there's like nothing romancy about it. I just don't want to pick it up, which is the stupidest thing. But I need to get over that. I think that's my problem.
A lot of thrillers, like you can read like domestic thriller. My Lovely Wife has some sort of romance. So does Goodnight Beautiful. Usually like messed up romance.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I'll read about a messed up romance.
Just like abusive relationships. That's great.
Yeah.
Have you read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue though?
I'm going to. It's like
Good.
right next to me. I'm going to read that. Do you guys have you guys all read it? Or?
Favorite book of all time.
Oh wow. Okay, good, because I literally just heard someone say that they did not like it at all. I can't remember who it was. But then I was just like second guessing myself. Okay. I was like second guessing myself because I was like, I don't want to read a bad book.
A lot of people don't like it. 1, because it's slow. 2, because like there's not a lot of representation, which is a valid reason.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
But the writing is just immaculate. The vibes are so good.
The vibes are immaculate. Love that. Okay.
I think the ending of that book is worth all of the slowness if you think it's slow. Like I thought it was fine because I listened to it on audiobook, but like the ending of Addie LaRue just so good.
I thought it was so fast because the chapters were so short. Like I read that in a day and it's like a 450-page book.
Yeah, I didn't find it slow at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. You guys are really making me ready to read that. That's great.
I have
slow chapters. Awesome.
Yes. I have 2 editions of it. My boyfriend got me $150 Illumicrate edition one. It's
Oh, I didn't know it was that expensive.
Holy shit.
You'd be spoiling me. It's fine.
How is Xavier doing, by the way?
He's better. He like took a he got COVID, Emily, if you didn't know. But he took a test yesterday and I was like, listen, it's been like 9 days. Like, it's not even the full. Like, he wanted to take a test before it was even a week. He's like, I feel better. I'm not coughing. I even ran a quarter mile to test my lungs. I was like, you're crazy. First of all, stay in your room. What are you doing? So, like, I don't know. He thinks he's Superman or something, but we'll see. I mean, he's a super healthy guy. Like, he doesn't have any, like I'm immunocompromised, so he's been careful for me, but, like, he doesn't have anything. And, like, his roommates have been traveling to LA and back and, like, everywhere around the freaking country. And he's been staying here because of me. And, like, he got it. And it pisses me off, but it's fine.
Well, when I got it like this time last year, and I got it really, really bad.
Oh,
but after like 5 days, I felt completely fine. And then the second wave hit, because that happens apparently. You like get to 5 days and you feel fine. I didn't know this before, and I was like, I'm all good. And then my mum was like, oh yeah, that happens, but then you get really bad, which is exactly what happened. So I was fine for a day, and then the next day I was like, I cannot stand up because my chest hurt so much. It was awful. And like, yeah,
I think that makes sense because, like, he probably had it before he got his first dose of his vaccine, because like he got his vaccine and then he had to go to the ER because like his blood pressure was so high and he had a really bad fever. And then so we're thinking he had it beforehand. So like after the ER, he was fine for a day, and then he started coughing and losing his taste. So I guess he already went through the second wave, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's no like information about it, so it's very like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because literally the day that he got his test, like after he lost his taste, my dumbass freaking kissed him. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I could have died. But I tested negative because I got my first dose like end of March. So I guess it worked. But I'm going to go get my laptop charger.
How are they for vaccinating in your country? Because in Canada, it's literally terrible, the vaccinating.
I've seen loads of people post about that they're really annoyed when Americans talk about it.
Oh, that's so annoying. I mean, here we're getting through people. I mean, obviously they're prioritizing. So I don't know how I got it, because I got my first dose a month ago. I think it's because I had asthma. I have asthma, that's why. But mostly here, it's to do with the specific hospitals. So it's very like the borough you're in, or like the really small location of the country you're in. So in London, it's pretty slow. Like none of my friends have it, or maybe like one of my friends had it. But here, like they're really getting through people. So it's very like depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, very grateful to have had the first one anyway.
I'm still waiting. I think that we're not, like, people my age aren't supposed to get them until June or July or something. And like even my grandparents have only just booked their appointment for their first shot. So considering Denmark's supposed to be like really great and everything, like it seems to be going really slow.
Yeah. Wow. It's terrible in Canada too. Like I think they are just getting to like 70 if you're over 70 or something. Like it's just so slow.
I'm already fully vaccinated. I got mine last Friday and it was bad. I was like crying nonstop for like 3 hours because my body ached so badly. And then
my god!
With the second dose?
For the second dose. My first dose, I didn't get anything. First of all, my 92-year-old grandpa didn't get a single side effect for both his shots. I was like, what in the world? But
normally, if you have the biggest effect on the second dose, that means that you haven't had COVID. Normally, but if you have the bigger reaction on the first dose, that means that you have, which is exactly what happened to me. I had a really bad reaction to the vaccine. I was in so much pain. It's horrible. They should warn people, I think, more.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear my mum just then?
Hey, Mom.
It's dinner time. I was like trying to ignore her.
I thought it was just your echo, but
Emily, dinner time.
Aww.
Yeah, I should probably go. How long are you guys thinking of staying on for?
I honestly don't know. I'm just gonna go for as long as people want to. So, I mean,
okay.
I say that, but like obviously I'm not going to go until like 1 a.m. or anything for me. Like that would be a bit ridiculous. But at least another hour or two, I think.
Okay, well, I might pop back on at some point after I eat food.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too. Okay, let me see if I can actually leave. That'd be really awkward if I'm like, bye. Oh shit, I can't figure this out. Okay, I think this is how you do it.
Yes.
She's
So
so
dramatic.
cute.
That's funny.
I love that.
Right. Oh, I feel like all of it because it's on delay. Everyone always says bye after the person leaves.
Yeah.
So I don't. Steph, did you say anything about how you're finding that book? Did you start Tender as the Flesh?
Yeah, so I started it. I'm 2 chapters in, and yeah, I don't know if I'm prepared for it, to be honest. Like,
Right, it does sound wild.
so do you know what it's about?
Cannibals.
Basically, yeah. So it's like following this guy. We don't even know his name yet, and I guess he took over like a business from his dad where they are literally like skinning humans because I guess the animals all got this like massive virus and they
Yeah.
can't eat animals anymore.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've only known like 1 or 2 people who've actually read it, but
It's like it's good, but like it's just creepy. Like they're talking about like a virus that's like wiping out like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a weird time to read it.
Yeah. The funny thing is that whole plot line would have been eradicated if people were just vegans or like just vegetarians. Do you know what I mean? Like no one would have a problem with like, do I need to eat humans if they just didn't eat animals?
Yeah, they mentioned something about that in here about how like it wasn't sustained or something. There's something going on with like the vegetation in this world too.
yeah, that's intense. I don't think I want to read that book.
Seems pretty short. Like it's only 200 pages, so I'm hoping
How
I
are
can
you usually with like gross stuff or like body horror and things like that? Because I'm usually quite fine.
Oh, I'm like I almost feel like I'm a robot sometimes because like I don't cry for books. I don't think I've ever cried in a book.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, like I just doesn't bother me.
Have you read A Little Life?
No, but I have 2 copies of it on my shelf because I know I'm gonna love it. Like I
'Cause
know
I read
haven't
it
read it,
and
but,
everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm crying and I'm sobbing, like watching everyone's vlogs beforehand, like seeing Noelle just absolutely like
I know.
destroyed by it, and like I can't remember who else I watched, but there was like loads of
Cat.
people crying, and then I read it and I was just a bit like, it's sad, like my brain knows it's sad, but like nothing happens, and I'm like, I'm such a bad human being for not crying.
No, that's me 100%. I always feel like I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Like I'm the exact same way. Like I know it's sad, but I don't know.
It takes a lot for me to cry in a book, especially it depends on my like mindset at the time too. Like if I'm emotional at the time, like but like in terms of body horror and stuff, it depends on what kind. But like I read a lot of true crime, so kind of desensitized. Like Pretty Girls, I didn't think was disturbing at all. But then in like Every Vow You Break, when they were talking about like the flapping skin, I was like, gross. Like it depends how visual it is for me at the time. Like I'm like, okay, it's fucked up and like it's terrifying and it could happen, but like
I think it also depends if I'm reading it physically or if I'm like listening to it on audio. Because if I'm listening to it and they're describing something, like I picture it so much more than if I'm just like reading it, right? But have you guys read The Troop by Nick Cutter?
I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I have.
Like that, like some of the scenes in that, I'm still like, that was fucking creepy. Like
Yeah. I could imagine. I feel like also if you've got like a really good narrator, they'll be good at like making like whispery voices and stuff
Yeah.
like that, making it creepy. Whereas when you're reading it yourself, you just sound like yourself in your head. And like I
Exactly.
don't think I'm a creepy person or anything, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big like word person, so when I read it, it's the same for me for the most part. But like for like scary books, like horror and like paranormal, if I'm listening to it on audio, I get freaked out.
Yeah, like I remember listening to It by Stephen King on audio, and the narrator for that was like, anytime Pennywise was like part of anything, it was like creepy.
Was he doing like a creepy voice?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't think I could listen to it. I was fine with reading it, like physically. That was fine. But
Yeah, it really depends on the time. Like Home Before Dark. Home Before Dark, I read physically and I got freaked out. But like the Sundown Motel, I didn't know it had paranormal stuff, and I was listening to it and I got creeped out.
Did you finish that, Jan?
The Sundown Motel, yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. So I did.
Yeah,
like,
I liked it.
I did like half just audio and then half like following along with the audio.
what's the synopsis for that one? Because I've heard of it, but like not that much.
Well, so there's 2 timelines, and this girl's aunt died in 1982, and then so she goes like and investigates because they never found her body. So in 2017, she goes to that like little city and like works at that same motel that her aunt worked at, and then like investigates.
Oh, it sounds interesting. I like anything with motels in it. Just reminds me of Bates Motel.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It's so good. Freddie Highmore is like, I mean, I haven't seen it for ages. I think it was like 3 years ago I finished it. But he is like really, really good. The main actor.
I'm just so bad at coming up with shows. Like, if I start watching Netflix, I'm like, I could be watching BookTube right now and getting through my 3 watch later videos. I have so many in my watch later list. It's insane.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It's so hard for me now, especially like being on BookTube, where I'm like, I could be watching this show, but I also could be like filming a video or like planning something or reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always just feel like I have to support, or not that I have to, but obviously I want to support everyone else. So it's like when you've got loads of people, you want to watch their videos and stuff like that. And at the same time, you want to watch like all of it. You don't just want to like pop in and be like, oh, I'll write a comment and show that I've supported them. It's more like you want to watch the whole thing. And then when you add that all together, it ends up being like a whole day of just sitting and constantly watching videos. I think this was in reference to A Little Life.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's just different types of people. I have to remind myself the fact that I actually can recognize when things are sad means that I'm not a psychopath, because sometimes I do worry. I'm just a bit like, if I don't physically like have the emotions, does that mean that I'm a bad person? But I don't think it does.
No. I almost wanted to watch A Little Life in 24 hours, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't want it. I want it in paper. I saw it at Half Price Books for like $10, but it was hardcover. I want it in paperback.
Yeah, I have both. So I bought it used off of, I don't remember what website. I think it was like Amazon, but they're used thing. So I bought it in hardcover, and then our like, it's not our Half Price Books, but it's like our thrift shops here are called Value Village. And I saw it there in like paperback. So I definitely just picked it because I just know that I'm going to like that book. It's just one book that I know I'll like.
Yeah.
But
it's so good. Which is it? Are they both the same cover? Like both the US?
I can I'll go.
Face or the one with like the writing?
I have a fun fact about the cover. So you know that like the one with the guy on it? It's actually like he's not sad. It's an orgasm. Like
what?
You can't read that book in the same way now.
It's a photo and like the time, like it's like a kind of famous photo, like a known photo, and the title of it is like a man having an orgasm.
Oh my god, I'm so happy I don't have that one now. I've got the one where it's like New York with the like words.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, I want the other one. That's why I want it in paperback. I want the UK version.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only thing is, I've seen the US one looks a lot floppier. I mean, I guess that's usually the way it is. The UK one's a bit like stiffer in the spine.
Yeah,
but like
this
if you
one's
don't
so
mind sort of
floppy.
breaking it a bit, then it's fine.
I just got Imaginary Friend, and it's so freaking fluffy.
Oh, I love it when books are floppy, but I don't like. I think all of the ones that come here are always the UK versions. So they're always like the ones that you're like. I mean, because I don't like breaking my spines. I'm always like this with my books. I'm like
Yeah.
trying to read it like that.
Yeah, like, I had to break Appomattox, but I mean, that seems pretty okay. But I feel like I'd break it anyway.
Yeah.
I'll
Steph,
definitely.
oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just gonna say I'll definitely break From Blood and Ash because my copy is so stiff.
It's also massive, isn't it? How many pages is it? Like 700, 800, 900 or something?
No, I think it's like
Oh, is it? It just looks big.
it's like 600.
Yeah, just over 6.
Have you read it yet, Steph?
I'm reading it this month. I pulled it so I just filmed my May TBR, and I basically just put like a poll on my Instagram for people to vote, and it won like by a long shot. So, and then
I
me,
haven't seen that.
and then me and Lauren, you know Lauren, right, Chloe?
I do, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, so me and Lauren, she wants to buddy read it, so we're gonna buddy read it in May as well. So
I was gonna do a whole ass live show for it, and I backed out.
really,
The one with Sarah.
Yeah, I got 26 pages into it, and I was like, I'm not in the mood right now.
oh,
But I think after all the hype, I'll read it again. After all the hype's over. But then the 4th book is going to come out, and then all the hype's going to restart. So
yeah.
That's why I don't do a lot of like buddy reads and stuff, because I get scared of commitment. Being like telling someone else I'll read at the same time as them. Just
yeah,
in case.
for my buddy reads, I usually just say, just finish it by the end of the month, and we'll talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't have to read it at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably smarter. Should we sprint again at 3? Or I guess 3 for me, but different for you.
Yeah, on the hour. Yeah, to be fair, I feel like I could probably work out, because it's always just an hour, like in hours, isn't it? So even if you said 3 something, then. But yeah, we can do that. Should we go for a longer one this time?
Yeah.
Like 35, 40 minutes?
Sure. 35. It's fine.
Go for 35.
Jan, what time zone are you in?
Central.
Do you know what you're picking up after, Chloe? Once you finish?
I've been really bad at deciding which books to pick up afterwards, so I don't know. If I don't figure out in time, I might just read some homework. Because I need to get some stuff read for uni, but otherwise I've got my best friend's Exorcism on my shelf right now that I'm thinking maybe. I've also got I'll Be Gone in the Dark, but I wanted to like film a specific. What was the head shaking for?
I'll Be Gone in the Dark is good, but like, if you're gonna read true crime, read John Douglas. Because I read
I have read Mindhunter. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna like upset you a little bit. I didn't enjoy it that much. I felt like he was a bit like, this is what I found out, this is how clever I am, and then he just keeps repeating the same thing.
He is clever.
Yeah, but it's like, the worst thing is when clever people know that they're clever and they just keep reminding you. They're like, yeah, this is what we found out, this is what I know, this is what I can figure out.
I loved it. I loved like seeing him piece everything together. But then I read, so that means you'll probably like I'll Be Gone in the Dark. I just didn't like her reading. Literally, her husband wrote like a little note at the epilogue or whatever, and it was better than the entire book. Like,
I think the reason I'm so interested in it is because it was used in the actual case, like the court case for what's his name, Joe something or other, the Golden State Killer, is that what it's called? And also because she like there's not a lot of female people that are a part of like investigations. Like I'd watched The Night Stalker and I watched the Yorkshire Ripper on Netflix, and it's just all men. And I know that was in the 70s and the 80s, but it's still kind of annoying because I'm interested in stuff like that, and I've considered becoming like a forensic pathologist. So as a woman that would potentially be in that field, it would be quite nice to hear from another woman that's been a part of it.
Just her writing. Her writing is not good.
Isn't it? But then saying that, she wasn't an author, so.
Have you guys read In Cold Blood? Okay, because
is that true crime? Because I always get confused if it's true crime or if it's like crime.
I think it is true crime, and it's like I see it on everyone's list as like the best that was like ever released type of thing. And I have it, like I just picked it up, but
if you do read it, I'd like to hear what you think.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave after this sprint because I have some errands to run and they close up in 2 hours. So
okay. Right. See you in a bit. Hi. And hi to Leah.
Hi, Leah.
So how's your reading going?
I think I read. I'm up to page 30, chapter 6.
Whoa, that's short chapters then. This chapter 6, page 30.
Yeah, short.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 chapters were like a page each.
Wow.
Like 4 and 5 were like a page each, but then the other ones were a bit longer.
I read like 25 pages. It's still I'm convinced now. This is my 4th book by Lisa Jewell, and I feel like I'm just gonna be confused until like middle of the book, and then it'll be all good.
Which other ones have you read?
I read The Family Upstairs, which I loved. Then She Was Gone, which I loved, and then Invisible, which I hated.
I think I've read the first 2. Because yeah. And I think I liked The Family Upstairs the most.
Yeah.
Just because I like all the sort of like conspiracy cult kind of
Same.
vibes.
Same.
You've got another compliment for your hair.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
I was actually wondering, how did you do it? Is it just like just a dye that went straight on it, or did you have to bleach it before? Because it's really vibrant.
I got it professionally done. She bleached it.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I usually dye it like straight, just jet black, because it's usually like really, really dark brown, and I hate it. It's like awkward. I don't know. I like it dark, you know?
Yeah.
So I got it done like a year ago, January 2020, and there was still some black like down at the end, so she cut like 5 inches or something, and then yeah, because that wasn't holding anything. Like it barely turned blonde when she bleached it, when she bleached the sample hair. So,
yeah. It's always easier to lift color out of like virgin hair. That's what they call it. But yeah.
Yep.
How'd you do, Chloe?
I finished and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. Like I think just because it's set in Edinburgh and I really love Edinburgh, and like I'd been to some of the places that they mention, that's mentioned in the book, but I can imagine that it's going to get better, the series. So I did the same thing with the Brown Sisters trilogy. I've only read the first one, and I was like technically it could be a 5-star, but I gave it 4 stars because I knew that it was going to get better. So I still need to read those 2, but
I like Danny. I didn't really like him.
Yeah, I like the second one.
what are you guys reading?
You by Lisa Jewell.
And I just finished City of Ghosts.
I actually should go before all the places close, but thanks for having me.
It was nice chatting with you.
Yeah.
It was nice chatting with you guys too. I will talk to you guys soon.
See you.
Bye. And then there were 2.
And then there were 2.
Have you got anything you need to do, or are you fine to just like keep going?
I can go for probably another hour.
Cool.
And then
I
I'm
mean,
gonna eat something, but
just joined in editing my video, which is exporting now. Very, very good. Oh, video, like exporting videos is just the most annoying thing. Especially because I use my phone to film and edit and stuff like that. And then sometimes I plug my phone into my computer and it just doesn't show up. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And then like I tried to use like Google Drive and everything, that just doesn't work out. So like last time, I think it was on Wednesday or something, when I was supposed to post my video, I was just like, I can't be asked, I've got a lesson, I need to go. So I just came back and did it afterwards. Leah's also editing. Have you seen Leah's like put 2 videos up consecutively of
all for Shadow and Bone?
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, the effort.
And like I can't even watch them right now, Leah, because I literally have to catch up with the show before I watch the videos. So if I'm not commenting, that's why.
I haven't, like, I've just been like, I want to read the books first. I also, like, even if I wasn't going to read the books, I don't think I'd watch watch this series yet, just because at the moment my brain is like everywhere. Like you were saying with, like, you know, when you go sit down to watch something on Netflix, then you're like, well, I could be filming video, I could be reading, I could be working or doing something else, and my brain just doesn't have the capacity for that right now.
Yeah.
How did I like City of Ghosts? I really enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. The only thing is, I think mainly because it's a middle grade, I feel like if it was like YA or adult, there'd be a lot more creepiness going on. I was kind of expecting a bit more of the setting, but I don't know if it's because I read it over a longer period of time, just because I haven't been reading much recently.
No, it's definitely like I got the same vibes as well from it. Like it's just because it's a middle grade, you're expecting almost like a certain atmospheric type of vibe, but it's good, but it is a middle grade.
Yeah, and I think also because I know a lot of the, like, the ghost stories and like the urban legends from Edinburgh, because when I went to Scotland, I got this book of like ghost stories, and I read them, and it was all like, I think Bloody Mary, like Burke and Hare, if you know them, like the grave robbers. There's just like loads of different stuff. Once you've read those stories, reading like a fictional book of, like, I don't know, sort of not imagining them properly.
Yeah.
Is not as fun. Oh wait, I missed the little heart. Oh wait, can we do like a, oh no, that's the wrong side. Oh bloody hell, that's not. I can't. Okay. Shadow and Bone is my life now. It's like it's blowing off. Like it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it.
I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, to be honest. Like,
any other books by Schwab? I've read A Dark Shade of Magic, but that's it. I still need to continue that series.
So I've read, so I read the first in that series, A Darker Shade of Magic. I loved it. I don't know why I haven't continued. Like, it's definitely on my list. I've read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've read, what is it called? It is Vicious, which is like one of my favorite books of last year. I loved Vicious so much. And I have Vengeful, but I haven't picked it up yet either. And then I also have her other book, This Savage Song, which I haven't.
Forget about that.
Yeah, I've like, it sounds like right up my alley. It's like about monsters or something that are, and it sounds right up my alley, but I just haven't read it. And then I've read the first 2 in the series that you're reading, and I haven't read the new one.
What did you think of the second one?
I liked it, but I think I liked the first one more.
Yeah.
Like it's still a good, like I don't even remember what I gave it. Like I should check my rating, but I do think I liked the first one better.
No, I knew going into it that, like, I mean, I should have started this series ages ago. It's really annoying because I realized that it was like published in 2017 or 2018, and I literally went to Edinburgh in 2019, I think. So it would have been so cool if I'd have read it before and then gone there. But but I always forget V. Schwab is like one of those authors that just has so many series and books out, and like all of them are loved. Like she's not like, I'm sure maybe she's got something that's like a bit under the radar, but everything is just spoken about. I think I'm most interested in getting to Vicious, and then obviously finishing this one, and then Darker Shade of Magic.
Yeah, I love Vicious. So I just looked at my ratings, and it looks like I gave each of them 4 stars. So, but yeah, like, let me know when you read Vicious, because I wouldn't mind like doing a buddy read for Vengeful, just to like get it down and done, because it's so good. Like, it's probably my favorite Schwab that I've read for sure.
I can't remember. Is it the one where it's like, oh, why can't I remember? For some reason, I can think of it in my head, but like I can't remember the actual synopsis. I just know it's something to do with someone that's evil or
So it's
something.
about like villains basically. So
Yeah.
it's,
Okay.
it's Eli and Victor, and they basically become something called like extraordinaries, or they're trying to like figure out how extraordinaries work. Sorry, they're not extraordinaries, but they're trying to figure out like how it works, and they end up figuring out how to become. And it's so good because like everybody in that book is like morally gray, and you're like, well, this guy's really really good, but he's doing like really shitty things, and
Yeah.
everyone in the book is kind of like that, so like it worked for me.
Yeah, I love morally grey characters. I think that anyone that's outside of that is just not realistic. And even like when you're reading fantasy, you still want to be able to relate to characters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't do really bad stuff, but like, even thinking of like me, like, I'm like a sort of average person, but I'm not like super nice all the time. Like, sometimes I have bad thoughts about people, and like, sometimes I do things that aren't that great. So when you then read a character where it's like, oh, I'm an angel, it's like, no,
Yeah.
that's not a thing.
Exactly.
Oh, my eyes have gone all funny.
So do you know what you're picking up next, or you think you'll just read some?
Well, I did start reading some physiology
Nice.
about muscle contraction.
So are you in school now, Chloe?
Yeah, I'm at university.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, I've actually only started, and I've got like 5.5 years left. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And that's only I mean, basically most people, because I'm studying medicine here, most people studying medicine, you would go between 6 and 12 years of studying. Depending on like if you're like writing a PhD, or if you're like doing research or something like that. So the routes that I've looked at that I want to do, like I said, like forensic pathology, that's like an extra 5 years on top of the basic 6 years, or like, yeah, just other, if you're specializing.
Right.
If I was a fantasy character, I would be evil. I feel like the evil ones are the fun ones. Like if you were going to do anything fictionally, you'd want to be evil.
Oh, 100%. It's so much more fun that way.
It'd be so fun to like, you know, see, I don't know if it's sort of widely known outside of the UK, but in the UK for Christmas, we always have these pantomimes, which is like fairy tales, but like really, like done really big and bold because they're for kids. And there's always like an evil character that's like just over the top, and that'd be really fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love like Halloween for sure.
Yeah, Halloween is the best. I mean, it's like I love Christmas, but I
Yeah.
feel like Halloween is like leading up to it is just as fun as when you get into Halloween. Whereas with Christmas, you get these great feelings of like leading up to Christmas, and then it's Christmas and you're like, oh, it's over now.
Yeah. That's literally what it is. And then like you don't have anything going on, at least here where I'm from, like really nothing happens in January or February or really March.
Yeah.
Like at the end of March we have Easter and stuff, but
Yeah. Everything comes at the end of the year. It would be fun to destroy the world. Yeah.
Leah, how are you liking Shadow and Bone? Just out of curiosity, like, are you liking it? Is it living up to the expectations? Actually, like, have you read the books, and are you liking it comparatively to the books? I think that's the main question.
Yeah. Oh, it's so disappointing when you love a book and then you watch film or the series adaptation. Like I watched, have you seen the series for the one?
Yeah.
On Netflix. What did you think of
that? It like the series, had I have not read the book, would have been fine.
Yeah.
But because I read the book and because like the one is one of my like all-time favorite books, I wasn't too impressed with the
Yeah.
with the series. What about you?
Well, I felt exactly the same because it's like it's the same concept, but it felt like it went on a completely different trajectory. Like there were none of the same characters except from the person that created it, right? And it was all focused on her, which took away the sort of like the special part of John Mars's writing, which is the fact that he like has so many different types of characters that meet in the end. Whereas it felt like from the beginning, all the characters would like too entwined for it to be anything like, oh wow, suddenly that happened. And especially like the ending of the book was like perfect. What happens there? And that obviously because of the way that the series went, that couldn't have happened. Like that just wouldn't have made any sense. We've got a response from Leah.
So much more than
I haven't read the books or watched it, so Mal in the show is honestly warming up to me. I'm guessing Mal is one of the characters that's only in Shadow and Bone and not in Six of Crows, because I've only read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom.
Yeah.
Typical Grishaverse reader didn't like Shadow. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say this.
Yeah.
Very 2010 YA. Yeah. See, that's what put me off a lot of like, especially when it comes to like dystopia, with the whole like Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner. I never read Maze Runner, but like all of the YA trilogies that came out around about that time, I think just sort of like took the level down a bit. Like it sort of made me feel like, yeah, but I like don't really want to read anything like that again. And then like more recently, I think YA that comes out nowadays is one a lot more like inclusive and like diverse, but it's also like just as good for like adult readers as it is for YA readers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that like back in the day when I would read YA, like I was still kind of in that age. So like I'm 30 now. So a lot of like the older YAs that I read very, very young, which I think is like the reason that I don't enjoy them as much. But then I look at something like Legendborn, for instance, and I like loved that, right? And I think that like the new YA is definitely reading a lot more like a new adult type of.
Yeah. Can I just say, you don't look your age. You look great for your age.
Really?
Even though 30 isn't that old. Sometimes, see, this is the thing is, like, my whole, like, sort of looking at people and seeing what age they are. Sometimes I look at people like you, and it's the same with Hallie. She's 30 as well, and she just doesn't, like, both of you don't really look at it. And then there's some people that are like my age, and I think they look, like, older than they are, even though they're not, like, they don't look old or anything like that. It's
Right.
just, you know, some people give off more of, like, a mature vibe, even though they're like 19 or something. They look like they're in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So you think I look younger than I
I
am?
think you look younger, but not in a bad way, because that's the
Yeah.
problem is you can take it either way, can't you? Like if someone says you look older than you are, you think, oh, so I look old. But it can also mean that you look more mature or you act more mature. The same
Yeah.
way, like if you tell someone they look younger, like if someone said I look younger than I am, I'd be offended. So I'd be like, I'm not a baby.
Right.
But if you want to read Shadow and Bone, then do that before watching the show. Yeah, I definitely would. Have you read it, Steph?
Yeah. I read it last year. I've read Six of Crows and I haven't read Crooked Kingdom yet. But I actually didn't mind Shadow and Bone. Like I think I gave Shadow and Bone a 5-star. And then Siege and Storm, which is the second one, I hated that one. But like that's typical for like middle books and series for me. Like I'm not usually like a huge fan of them. And then I think Ruin and Rising. I think Shadow and Bone was my favorite out of the 3, but I personally liked the series, where I know a lot of people like absolutely hate it and then love Six of Crows, but
Yeah,
I didn't mind it.
I think I will. It's like definitely on my list of books I want to get to, but it's like so far down. And it's like, especially the more books you hear about, obviously it just like keeps on pressing down on the list. So there's so many books that I need to like get my hands on, let alone start reading them.
I do love Nikolai as a character, though.
Currently reading Ruin and Rising. Oh. Still in doubt if I want to read Six of Crows before I start it. See, this is what I thought that the Netflix series was just based on Shadow and Bone. But is it a mixture then?
It's definitely Six of Crows as well. And I'm assuming Crooked Kingdom as well, but I haven't read that. I'm not too bothered to read it before I watch the show, though.
Yeah, I just wonder, is it like, because doesn't Six of Crows come after Shadow and Bone? Or is it like, do they overlap in like the timeline?
You know what? I don't know.
Because I'm just thinking, if it comes afterwards, then you could watch the parts of the series that just have Shadow and Bone in, and then afterward, like read Crooked Kingdom, and then go back to because that's what I thought it was. I thought it would be like the first series or something with Shadow and Bone, and then it goes on to Six of Crows. But
yeah,
maybe
at least I watched the first episode of the show, and they definitely run simultaneously with each other. So,
right, we've got an answer from the Queen. Read Six of Crows before watching the show. Oh, that sounded really sarcastic when I said from the Queen. That I didn't mean that in a sarcastic way.
No, she is the queen of the Grishaverse.
Because I'm not used to like using, like You Go Girl and Queen and stuff like that. So whenever I say things like that, it just sounds so sarcastic. I think it's just like a British thing of like, it doesn't, because like when someone with an American or a Canadian accent, I don't know if it's just a bit more soft or something, so it just sounds natural when people say things like that. When I say it, I just sound like I'm being a bit of an arsehole. They mix them, even though the Six of Crows books are after the Shadow and Bone books. I wonder how that works. Just like, let's go forward in time and then we'll go back just to mess things up a bit.
Oh, okay, so they are after. I know that it was written after. I just didn't know if it runs at the same time, really.
No, I thought it was afterwards, because isn't there a crossover between some of the characters? I think there's like some of the characters in Six of Crows that were in Shadow and Bone, but just not all of them. And it didn't sound sarcastic. That's very good. I'm happy to hear that.
It's so hard because I read, like, I wish I had the like mental capacity to remember a bunch of things, but the problem with me is like I read so many books. Like I read 200 books last year, and I'm pretty sure I read that trilogy in and around those 200 books. So then for me to remember like I do enjoy reading a lot of books because I can say like, okay, yeah, this is my favorite book. I loved this. If I ever want to reread, I know exactly which books I'm rereading. But the downfall to reading so many books is I can't, like, my mind just can't keep everything in. Like if I hated a book, I couldn't tell you who any of the characters were, why I hated it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Literally, like it's in my brain and then it's out and I'm on to the next one, right?
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I don't even read that many books, or like in comparison to you. But like genuinely, if I don't write something down, I'll forget it. I just know that I didn't enjoy it, or I did enjoy it. And then like looking back on things, I'm like, so I did that with the Hunger Games, right? Is the first time around I gave them all 5 stars. And then like 2 years later, it came to like rereading the first book, which I've just recently done. And I was like, surely I didn't really enjoy it that much that I gave it 5 stars, because like it's YA and it's like, I just remember there being a bit of cringiness in it, but I did like it. And then I read it and I was like, no, yeah, it was a 5-star. I just didn't remember. Don't own Six of Crows on a book buying ban. I like feel like as long as I have the funds for it, I would never put myself on a book buying ban. And the funny thing is I see all these people that like, I need to stop buying books and I need to go on a book buying ban, but it's like, surely if you don't have money for it, then you can't buy books anyway. It really confuses me.
Right.
Right.
I think for me, it's mostly because like I just have so many unread books. Like I'm not on a book buying ban and I never would put myself on one, but I just have so many unread books that I own that I'm just like, I need to start getting through some of these.
Yeah. Well, do you borrow a lot from the library as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can't do that, so I'm always like, I have like anxiety that I'm going to run out of books because I'm a student, so obviously I can't afford to just constantly be buying books. So it's like, right, I can just about afford to get myself 4 or 5 books in a month because of the price they are here. They're always like double the price of what they would be in the UK. So I'm like 4 or 5 books in a month, but I then read somewhere between 8 and 15 books. Like last month I read like 20 something, which is absurd. But like
Oh,
usually
wow.
I read about like 10 books or something like that, which obviously doesn't work out because I have read more books than I actually own, and I'm just like, no. Ugh.
So are the libraries closed where you are, or?
The problem is that where I lived, like during the first part of lockdown and COVID and everything before I lived here, was like a little village town kind of thing. So it'd take me like 20 minutes on the train to get to the library, and I don't even think they had many English books in the library, so I never bothered with it. And then I've moved here, but the library's been closed since I've lived here. Also, I think it takes like half an hour because I have to cycle. Otherwise, I have to take public transport and stuff like that. So it usually takes half an hour to get into town where the library is. So I haven't had the chance to do that yet, but I will. I think they're opening up soon, actually. I might get my parents when they come and visit to drive me there. This is what I found. Okay, this is a long. Okay, instead of adapting the books in chronological order, the producers of Shadow and Bone have taken 2 separate series within the same universe, Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows, and combined them, merging their timelines and characters.
Yeah.
I'm on a book buying ban because I have way too many unread books, yeah. See, I see people in this situation, I'm like, I wish I was you. I wish I had that many books.
Yeah, I've always been a reader and I've just always collected books. Like most of my books I own are all used. Like it's very rare that I'll buy like a brand new book unless I'm like absolutely know that I'll like it.
Yeah. I'm also, see, that's the thing is I don't tend to be able to find very many not unread, very many used books. So like I would do that, and I know it's better for the environment and like better for my bank account and everything, but like I don't tend to find them that much. So 160. Yeah, I think I saw someone there's people who've started making videos about like exposing my TBR and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure there was someone that had like 200-300 unread books, like actually sitting in their house.
Oh, I'm definitely at that for sure.
It'd be like living, for me, like hearing that is like living in a library.
Yeah, like I don't know if you can like the wall behind, like in front. I don't know if you can see like it's literally like
with the Stephen King bit.
yeah, they're on the bottom there, but like I have so like the wall in front of me is like completely like floor to ceiling. I built like, well, I didn't. My boyfriend built like bookshelves, so it's literally from the floor to the ceiling is like covered. And yeah, Stephen King. I'm like, I don't know what I'm picking up next from Stephen King, to be honest, but yeah, I bought most of his books used too.
What have you read from him so far?
Okay, so Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, Night Shift, The Stand,
Yeah.
The Dead Zone, Firestarter, Cujo. I skipped the what is it called? The Gunslinger.
Oh, like, the whole series thing, yeah.
Yeah, I have them all, but I'm not interested in reading those. Like I just not interested. And then I've read Pet Sematary. I've read a bunch of his, like he's got like this the Bachman books. It's like 4 books in a series.
Oh, yeah.
It's got like Rage and a bunch, like, so I've read a bunch of those. And then I read Under the Dome,
Yeah.
and I think that's it.
Have you read Misery?
No, but that's like, I've heard that that's other people's very, like, their favorite. So
Yeah, it's especially like I think even people who aren't necessarily a fan of Stephen King, because it's more on the thriller side
mm.
of things. I'm trying to think if there's any that I've got. I feel like you've probably read more than me then. What else? Have you read any of his newer stuff? Like The Outsider or The Institution? Is that what it's called? The Institute, that's what it's called.
No, I have them, but like, so when I first got into King, I wanted to read in publication order, which I think I've told you before. And then there were just a bunch of books that I really just wanted to get to. So like, I really wanted to get to Pet Sematary. I really wanted to read it. And it was just like, I didn't want to get through the books before it to do it. So then I kind of just gave up. But like now, if I had to choose, like, my top that I want to get to very soon is definitely Misery, 11/22/63.
Yeah.
Have you read that one?
Yeah, I read it a couple of months ago, and it's so good. Like you wouldn't expect it from Stephen King because it's more like historical fiction, sci-fi. Like I mean, it's very King in the sense that it merges a lot of different things together, but it's very much outside of his normal, like, I want to say, like, vulgar kind of writing, which like isn't necessarily a bad thing because I enjoy it. I like things that are very gritty and like I guess disgusting in certain ways, but it's a lot more, I felt like, sensitive than his other books in the way that it's written, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So those two for sure, and then The Green Mile. I actually have the audiobook on hold at my library. So I'll be getting to that soon because I really want to watch the movie. I haven't watched the movie.
I haven't either. There's so many of the adaptations that I haven't watched, but he's one of the authors that's really outspoken about adaptations of his books, and I feel like he doesn't like the majority of them. So it's like, if the author doesn't really like the adaptations, how good are they going to be? I don't know.
Right.
Some comments from Leah to catch up on. It's a dream and a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it as well. Oh yeah, I think that was about wait, what? About building the shelves, maybe?
Maybe.
I haven't read anything from him so far, but I have The Institute. Definitely recommend The Institute.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's not his best of like the more recent ones. I mean, to be fair, I think the most recent books that I've read are The Institute and The Outsiders, or The Outsider. And The Institute is, I think the thing that it sort of has going for it is it's about kids, and he's just really good at writing about kids, despite the fact that he's like 70 something. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But like if you think of like what he did with the Losers Club, it's kind of like that. And it's also got it's like, what's it called? I think not telepathy, like they can move things like telekinesis and stuff like that. They've got different like powers. So kind of a mixture of like Carrie with it in a weird way.
It's so weird to me when someone tells me they've never read a King before. Because it's like, where, like, I wonder, I always put myself in that spot, like, where would I start if I was in that position right now, right? Like, knowing what I know with his works kind of now.
I didn't even the only reason that I started reading his books was because I watched the 2017 film of It. I watched that, and then I was like, this group of children is like one of the best friendship groups that I've ever seen in film. So I was like, I need more of them. So I read the book. And I think sometimes that's the best way to do things, is like if you really fall in love with a group of characters from a film, and then you want to read the book that it was adapted off of, because otherwise I wouldn't have picked up It because it's massive.
It's so big.
And then just from that, the funny thing is, I think It was my first one, and The Stand was the second one that I read. So just the big ones, really.
What did you think of The Stand?
The Stand, I can't remember. I need to reread it at some point. I think it'll be a while. It was like 3 or 4 years ago that I read it, but I think I enjoyed it. All I know is that it's because my uncle, he reads quite a bit of Stephen King, or he did, like, before he had kids and all that stuff. But he read some of Stephen King's books, and he said that was his favourite one, I think. So that's why he got it, because I read it, and that was, like, in October, November maybe or something. And then I asked for Stephen King books for Christmas. And the funny thing is, my one uncle, who actually reads books, went and got the one that he thought would be the best. My other aunt and uncle, who don't read, went and just got Carrie and the Shining, which was like good, because obviously I wanted to read them as well, but it's like two different types of people.
Yeah, a lot of people think that The Stand is definitely his best work.
I could see if you're the sort of person that really likes descriptions and like the loads of storylines, like it's one of the most Stephen King books that he's written, in the sense of his like stereotypical way of like loads of characters and everything. And in answer to this question, I did not find it that scary. I think it's more on the sci-fi side of things. But then I like most of the time when I'm reading a book, I don't find it scary. So Stranger Things vibes. I think it had that a little bit, but not like as much as you would hope, I guess. And the first episode of it, oh, the 90s one. To be fair, I think that in a way the old version of Pennywise was a bit creepier, just because it's like a real clown.
Yeah.
Whereas the newer one is like, you can see it's kind of like the CGI, lots of really good makeup. Whereas Tim Curry as a clown is literally just a man wearing makeup, which is like scary.
Terrifying.
But I haven't watched that. I haven't watched the 90s one. I don't. Should we go for another round of sprints soon?
Yeah, let's do it.
How are you feeling about the 35 minutes? Wait, what's the time? If we go at 15:15, 35 would take us to 50. Do you want to do 45 minutes to take us to the hour?
Sure.
And then I don't know.
And then I'll probably hop off, but yeah.
Actually, wait, do you know what? I might change that then. If we just do 35 minutes, it will take us to 50, and then we have 10 minutes to just round it off.
Okay.
Instead of just leaving.
Yeah. Instead of being like, okay, see ya, nice seeing you.
Right. Bye. I haven't had the chance to say, but I love your tattoos. I think it's so cool. There's like still, I don't know why, still a lot of like stigma attached to people, especially women having tattoos. But when I see a woman with tattoos, especially like the sleeves or like the thigh tattoos and stuff like that, I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had a lot of people message me and just say that they like love watching my videos because they like love seeing the tattoo in my video.
It's I don't know. The thing is, my granddad is like very traditional. He's like, don't get tattoos, don't get like crazy piercings, don't ride motorcycles and stuff like that. And I don't want to ride a motorbike, it's not that. But things like tattoos and just like sort of doing things that you want with your body, obviously as long as it's not like harming you, I really just like, what's the point? Like, who cares if when you're 80 you have like a really saggy arm and then like the tattoo's a bit distorted? Like, that doesn't really matter, because I think by the time you're 80 no one's looking at your arms.
Literally, like, yeah. I love when people like would say that to me and they're like, you're gonna regret that when you're older and everything like that, but it's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I think as long as you don't get anything that, like, as long as you don't get a tattoo drunk, and as long as you don't get one that's got way too much meaning attached to it, then it should be fine. That's like the rules that I would go off of. I still haven't got any because like I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to at some point. I'm still hide my tattoos from my mum. Oh God.
Yeah, I think what was a big like saver for me is that my parents are so like, they are like, you can just express yourself in any way that you want, and they've always let me had piercings. Like, I've had my entire ear like from bottom to top, like completely pierced. Like I've taken them out since, but like I was just always allowed to do that. And I think that's like what really helped me. And like just to go back to your last comment about like as long as you don't get one that like when you're drunk or whatever that like you'll regret, like at this point now I don't think that I could put something on my body that I would regret, because I just have so many tattoos that I'm just like, it's whatever, right? Like at this point it's like if I hate it I'll just cover it up, right? Like, but if you only have the one, I think like getting your first one is super like you want to make sure that it's what you want.
Yeah. Right. Should we do some reading and then we can get back to this conversation if we can remember it?
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello.
How's your book?
It's good. It's really good. It's like definitely disturbing reading certain parts of it, but like I'm really enjoying it. What did you pick up?
I decided to pick up My Dark Vanessa. I was like, I've had this for a couple of months, and I've just been really like hesitant to pick it up because obviously the subject matter and everything. And like I can tell it's going to be really difficult to read because like I haven't got to any of the like the core parts of it, but from the character description and everything and like the way that it's sort of setting it up for the character, I can just relate to a lot of like what she's been through beforehand, so I can see how it's going to lead into what happens, which like makes it really sad because obviously when you can see where people like why it happens and why people fall into that kind of thing, it's just gonna be difficult.
I think that book's really good at like portraying that and how someone can fall into being like manipulated in that way.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
There is that whole, oh sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say there is like for people that haven't experienced anything like that. I mean, I haven't, so I'm very, very privileged, I guess, which is kind of sad that, you know, you're lucky or you're privileged to not have experienced it. But I think for people that haven't experienced it, especially men, there's this idea that you can stop it or that you like have a choice. But like with something like this, like in this book, you can just tell like a 15-year-old child doesn't really have a choice when someone's showing them attention. It's like, well, obviously, if you've not had attention before, you want it. So
And in that position, right?
yeah, it's that. Oh, I hate power dynamics and everything. There's so much, especially. It's not as bad here because I feel like here, even though there's still a distinction between like the teacher and the student, you call your teacher by their first name, so it doesn't feel as like, oh, they're like way above me. Whereas like I know in the UK, they like you either say like Mr. or Mrs. or you say Sir or Miss or whatever it is, and I'm sure you do that in Canada and the US as well, right?
Yeah.
Just having that distinction really enforces the idea that this person is not only responsible for you, which like I understand that when it comes to younger kids, like you have to have someone that's in charge, but also it just really enforces the power dynamic change like between the two people, which I don't think should be as big a thing, because when you add in that power dynamic, it gives the person with more power the chance to manipulate and take advantage of the person who's got less power. And it's the same thing, not just with like teachers, but like celebrities and things like that, which just really like boils my blood to think that there are like celebrities out there who take their power and use that for like bad things.
Yeah, have you seen the R. Kelly documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, I did.
It kind of reminds me of like that when you say like celebrities, it's because like you prey on these, like in that case, these females who look up to you as this like star that they've seen on TV, and it's so easy for them to just get wrapped up in that because you're promising them all of these things and you're telling them all of these things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, and it's not just when it comes to like assault and stuff like that. Just in general, like the idea of any human being ever thinking that they're better than anyone else because they've got like they're in a position of being, you know, more famous or more powerful, have more money or something like that. Just the idea that like you are better than anyone else is like a load of crap, really, because like ultimately everyone should be equal, but obviously we're not treated equally.
Yeah.
But like it's obviously it's just it is, I mean, I say it's just but like it is a part of everything. Like whenever there's power, there's always bad things that come with it.
Yeah, I really like My Dark Vanessa. I can see why people don't like it and why people have like a problem reading it. So I'm like curious to see what you'll think about it because I
Yeah.
actually really enjoyed it.
I think I'm going to enjoy it because as I said, I haven't experienced things like this, and I can imagine someone that has been through any kind of trauma, to be fair, reading about trauma, you then like it can resurface things and stuff like that. I'm very lucky that I've never had much trauma throughout my life. So reading things like this for me is once again that feeling of I can see like how it's obviously a horrible thing and that like I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. At the same time, I don't like feel the feelings myself. The same thing with A Little Life, because that's like full of trauma. That's just like everything's in there. So I think that people that maybe like haven't got as much of a personal connection to it could enjoy it more. Whereas people that maybe have experienced something similar could appreciate it, but maybe not enjoy it because of the topic matter. And then this comment, I think Lolita is supposed to be like very similar to My Dark Vanessa, isn't it? Like they say that that's kind of like inspired, like My Dark Vanessa is kind of inspired by Lolita.
Yeah, I think it's like a name.
Yeah, but I also, isn't it something like Lolita is very, very misogynistic? I think I've heard that.
Oh, I haven't
heard read it. Who said it? But someone was talking about it.
I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah. And then this celebrities create these environments where their young fans or viewers feel like they have to do certain things in order to be liked by their idols. Yes. That's why when like I tend to not fall into the trap, but like when I start listening to musicians, I don't just listen to their music, like I'm also very much a fan of their personality and stuff like that. And the last thing that the thing that I try my best to do is to never fall into the idea that they're better than me because I like their music. Or because if it's like an actor and I like their work, like if I ever was in the position where I met them, I would treat them as a human being the same as I am, like as if I was meeting just a random person.
Yeah.
Just power and influence, yeah.
But I think that's very rare to find someone that thinks like you, at least like from the people I've seen, because like people just worship celebrities. Like they just absolutely like if they see them, they're like in tears, like they're just not human beings to them. They're just like put on this pedestal, right? Whereas like I agree with you, they're literally just like everybody else.
Yeah. And like I remember when One Direction were becoming a big thing and everyone's like, oh my god, One Direction, I love them, I'd like die if I ever met them. I was just like what? Like it's literally 5 like boys from the UK that like don't even sing that well. And they're like, it's just because like they've got the whole like, you know, X Factor, blah blah blah, and then people love them and everything. I just never understood it. That and Justin Bieber. Like when I was like a tween and a teenager, those two were like the big things that everyone was like obsessing over. And like I just never had that like very surface level like, oh, I love them so much. Like if I like a musician and I like their music is on a lot more deeper level of like, oh, I really enjoy what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite of Dark Vanessa. Yeah. Okay, so that's where it would be really creepy because it's the grown-up man.
Okay.
So I could imagine that that's a very uncomfortable because if it's his views, obviously he's like messed up.
Yeah, and he'd be talking about like a child basically.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. But I do think it's important to talk about things like that. Like it's really difficult to have conversations about things that are like obviously not very comfortable topics to talk about. But it's important to get it across. My boyfriend read it and said it was good, but I don't know if I could read it. Yeah.
I could definitely read it. Like, I definitely like reading things that make other people uncomfortable and like put people out of their comfort zone, just because like these ideas don't come up from nowhere, right? Like, people have been dealing with these types of topics and stuff. Like, just on that train of thought, like, how do you feel about trigger warnings? Like, do you like to read trigger warnings before going into books, or?
So I personally don't like, I try and avoid them as much as possible, because I know that like there's very, very little, like I don't think I've ever experienced anything that's ever triggered me in a book or in a TV show. Once again, because I'm very privileged. But I know that there's obviously lots of people who it could be very triggering for. So like I appreciate that people and it's something that people should do. They should, like, especially if they've got an audience of people that are relying upon them to give them recommendations, if there is something that can be triggering, to mention it. But I do think, see, it's a topic that I had to write about once for like an exam in Danish, and it was that idea of like trigger warnings becoming this massive thing of like suddenly you have to warn someone if there's like I don't know, something ridiculous happening. So I do think that sometimes like it seems as if there's too many trigger warnings out there, but at the same time I think that you also have to think that there are people that like get triggered by loads of different stuff. So I think it's important, but like I personally don't read them.
Yeah, I'm the same. I definitely think that there is a purpose for having them, and a lot of people, if they've dealt with some serious like traumas in their life and stuff like that, then it's important for them to know what they're going into, so that something doesn't trigger them, basically, right? Because that could be super detrimental. But I'm the same as you. Like, I think that they're very spoilery in books. Like, no, you don't know what led up to it or the circumstances behind it, but I still think like if you have a trigger warning for, let's just say, like animal abuse or like child abuse, like, you know, it's coming, like you know something like that is happening. And I think it's kind of like spoilery, so I try to avoid reading trigger warnings as well. But I've noticed that some books now actually have it like in their like front page.
I haven't seen that. See, that's the problem, I think. I mean, problem. That's the thing that I had with The Little Life, is I had heard so much about how devastating it was, that when I read it, it was like, oh well, it's not in the same level as like how everyone's described it. Because obviously when you have like an emotional response to something, it's usually it heightens or like exaggerates the way that you describe things. So when people start describing things as being like the most devastating thing they've ever read, or like something that's really, really disgusting and disturbing, if it's explained as being like very, very, very bad, then going into it, I'm expecting a lot more than I probably sort of get out of it.
Right.
So like in that case, like with A Little Life, it definitely affected my way of reading it. It was still a really good book, but like it just didn't give this, like, I didn't have the same response. Yeah. I mean, the whole, like, the people that are the bad people are probably people that have been taken advantage of before, have been in situations that have made them those people. So obviously they're not like in the situation they're the bad people, but like ultimately they're humans that have for some reason have ended up that way. And I think it is really important when it comes to abuse and things like that, so important to focus on people who are at risk of becoming those people in the future. So like kids that, you know, don't have a stable family, or like kids that have been abused themselves, like just all these different things, focusing on it and making sure that, like, the same thing with like serial killers, right? You can see when people are showing like what's it called, like antisocial kind of behavior. Because I think it's the spectrum, they call it, like or something to do with antisocial personality disorder kind of thing. But like you've got psychopathy, sociopathy. If you could see that in a child, you can cater to them, because there's lots of people that are psychopaths without like necessarily killing people.
Right.
I'm very good at bringing things back to serial killers. Personally, like trigger warnings because they let me know what to expect. Yes, yeah. It's also, that's the thing, is also it's lovely that like people can have different opinions about it, and it should be able to, like, trigger warnings should be able to exist without it rubbing anyone up the wrong way.
Right.
Reading, as long as I've prepared myself mentally. See, I don't do this with books or films or anything like that, but like, for example, I'm very like self-conscious when it comes to people touching me, and as part of my module, as part of this module, we've got a course that's kind of like like touching people, basically, because it's like what's it called, like examinations of like the spine and like the extremities and stuff like that. So we're in partners, and like I would then like examine one person and then they would examine me. So I had to mentally prepare myself so I can see more people when it comes to reading and watching things that obviously trigger warnings. Definitely important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you just have to put everything into perspective. Like, even if it's something that you just have never experienced and you just think you could never relate to it, if you can like find something similar, or like even not similar, just something where you felt a similar way in a situation, then it makes it a lot easier to relate to things. That's why, like, I don't know, I've always tried to see other people's perspectives, especially when it comes to things like race and sexuality and gender and things like that. Like, I have family members that will be like, I don't understand why anyone would ever feel non-binary, like why someone would say that's what they are. Like, I don't understand that and the different pronouns. And it's like, I don't understand it as such because I haven't been through it. But like, obviously, I'll always try and just like, if someone says they feel a certain way, as long as they're not saying I feel like I want to kill people, then like,
Right.
just let them do their thing. And that's also why, because I was, someone that I follow on Instagram had a whole thing about like why people should put their pronouns in like their bios and stuff like that. And I've tried to do that. That's why I always put it there. And in my bio and stuff like that, just to like, to be fair, I don't care. People can call me whatever they want. Like, if they want to think I'm a man, then like, go ahead. It doesn't affect me. But I do know that there's people out there who want to see if someone is supportive of them, and just by me clarifying my pronouns and saying I'm happy to say what I am and how I identify, then it shows that they can then like trust me to say how they feel.
Yeah, I've like I can definitely relate to like you when you say like your family members don't understand, or like there's certain people in like your circle that like they just don't get it. And I'll be honest, like I'm not like I'm trying to educate myself more as much as I possibly can, but I still make those mistakes. Like I remember in one of my wrap up videos, like I remember saying that the author of All Boys Aren't Blue, I remember saying he, and then I had looked it up because I'm like, you know what, like I need to get my like mind in a different, like I need to make my mind work in a different way. And I looked it up and I realized that he goes by they, like those are the pronouns that they want. So I like wrote a little blurb on like my thing, just like apologizing and stuff. But it's just like having to remind myself that like this is kind of like where like what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just like an adjustment, right? Because like we've always, at least like where I'm from, like it's always just been taught one way, and now that this is coming in, it's just reworking the way that you think, right? Like it's nothing negative or anything like that. It's just trying to figure out how to do it in a good way.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, all the sort of people in the minority or people who are oppressed, all they really want is to be accepted and respected. They don't need anyone to understand how they feel. So, like, the fact that people like us in the situation that we're in, that we might slip up every now and again and say something wrong, like I'm sure that they, you know, wouldn't be offended by it, or like obviously it's difficult for them and stuff like that. Oh, Leah did the same thing. I'm actually, I'm not sure when I'm going to read it, probably next month, because at the end of next month I'm doing like a live show
It is
with some friends.
so good. Like I will ever stop recommending that book going forward. Like I loved it so much. Like I was not expecting to like it as much as I did, but like just so heartbreaking and like, oh, it was so good.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to read as much about groups of people that like I'm not necessarily a part of, and specifically like going into like non-binary, transgender and stuff like that. There's a lot. This is why YouTube is so great, because there's so many different communities. Like I come across a lot of YouTubers that are transgender and sort of like talk about their experience. And that's really interesting to hear, and obviously just like good for me to know. And also, oh, this is a great little segue. Your readathon, the Allython. I'm like, honestly, when I heard that that's like, when I saw that whole theme, I just thought it's like, whilst like just a random readathon with like a really fun theme is great and everything, I don't see a lot of readathons that like actually have a good purpose and like a really good intention behind them as well. And like the whole self-educating thing is just so good.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it for a little while, and we definitely like we were thinking about like, are we going to do 10 prompts? Like that's so much. I don't think people are going to be able to do it. But then like when you think about it, you can either read a book or kind of like seek out some type of education on the topic. I think it just makes it so much like less pressure. You're learning about things, but you're also reading and stuff. And I don't know if you're planning on getting the group book, but I don't think it's been announced yet, but like we're gonna do something so cool with the group book and like, live shows. So like, yeah.
Well, when are you gonna start announcing that then? Is that like quite close or like?
So the readathon starts May 17th. So the last video of the 4 is going to be Jeff's video, and she's filming it. I think she said this week. So I think it'll be out this week, and she's the one that's going to announce kind of what we're doing with the group book. So it's going to be like, I think it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah. Well, the book sounds so great. Like the fact that it's short stories, graphic novel, a poem, all of them are Muslim authors, right? And just like, about something that like I remember when I went to like at school when I was like really young, that we had like a topic about Islam and stuff like that. And I just remember finding it really fascinating. And that was like before the point of like being aware of all people's prejudices against Muslim people. And I was just absolutely fascinated by it. So it'll be really interesting to get into the like both reading like factual things, but also reading fiction to do with it. Also because like nowadays, even living in the Western world, there's a lot of Muslim people living amongst us. And so it's really interesting. Like I go to like in my class of like, I think we're like 12 or maybe 14 people, there are 4 Muslims in our class. So it's just really interesting to hear about, because obviously I've heard about them fasting recently and stuff like that. So it would be nice to know more about like why they do it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like growing up in Toronto, we're so diverse. Like people don't realize how diverse Canada really is, and specifically like in and around Toronto. So like I've grown up with just so many different cultures and everything like that. So it's very like natural for me. But it's gonna be like very cool to kind of, because Mo like that's part of the readathon as well.
Yeah,
he's Muslim, so like even when we were just kind of like coming up with this like theme and stuff, just everything that he was saying, I was already learning so much about and I'm here thinking like, well, no, I've grown up with this like my entire life. It's nothing new to me, but it's like you can always, always, always like learn more about
Yeah.
something. So it's really cool in that sense.
Yeah, it really, and it like, even though I know that it's not like Ramadan is obviously a way of getting closer to God and like getting more spiritualized. No, what's it called? Being more spiritual and stuff like that. And like obviously like the intentions are purely on the religion side of things. But like as someone that's not Muslim, I'm absolutely in awe of the fact that Muslims do this every year. Because like if I tried to do it, I have absolutely no reason to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't have that religion, and I don't have that spirituality to like motivate myself to do it. So to think of like the fact that they have such a strong religion, such a connection to God to like motivate them to do it is just so cool.
And it's really cool because as I was coming up with my TBR, so I know that I'm not going to read 10 books for the prompts, but as I came up with a book for each of the prompts, and I think it was only 2 prompts that I had like trouble actually trying to find like Muslim author or like a person of color represented, because every book on my TBR is basically I was able to fit the prompt with a Muslim author. So it's good. And I'm thinking I'm going to post a video of just like book recommendations that you can use for the readathon.
Yeah, that's really cool because I'm looking forward to hearing. I don't know if oh god, I can't remember everyone else's names, but like if all the other co-hosts are planning on doing videos. I know that Mo has done a video like recommending, I think I watched it today, isn't it the one where he was like for the Ramadan readathon they like spoke about different books.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see because although I do like to try and figure things out myself, sometimes it's nice just to have like a little bit of a helping hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm getting tired now. I wish that like I could just sit and talk forever, but like to be fair, my brain's probably a bit like stop.
Yeah.
So I hope that I can chat to you again at some
point.
point.
I would love that. I think that we get along great. So
yeah. I mean, even if like I keep on saying this to people and then it just never happens, even if it's like not like live reading sprints, even if it's just like chatting backstage or doing private reading sprints or something like that. It's just been so far I've like done 3, well, I've done more than 3, but like 3 reading sprints with BookTube people and just the different people that I've met through it. It's been so much fun, and like you have different conversations and obviously it goes in different directions. So much fun.
Yeah, I would love to. I definitely have built a little friendship with like you and then like a bunch of others that are kind of like we're kind of the close ones. So I like it. That's kind of why I wanted to join BookTube. Like I just wanted to like create a little like with Leah too. She's in the comments and like I just wanted to have that, you know, like I always wanted that. So
yeah. Well, it was like that's exactly why. And it's like watching BookTube beforehand, I was like, oh my god, these people have got connections. Like people who genuinely have not known each other for that long, they've only known each other over the internet, and their connection is stronger than like people's real life friendships. And I was like, I want that. Like as someone that struggles socially in real life, like I've always, and I think especially after like moving and having to learn a new language, and it's just pushed my whole like figuring out who I am, it sort of pushed it back a bit, so that by the time I was like, I know who I am, I was like, oh crap, everyone's already friends with each other and I don't know what to do.
Right.
So being able to meet people over the internet and stuff like that is really fun.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that like books anymore. I think we are an endangered species.
That's the thing, right? Like I can meet friends, like I could go out, meet people and like, yeah, we could become friends, but it's finding people who love books as much as you, because like nobody in my personal life wants to hear me talk about books.
And the thing is, it's so funny because there's people that are like, yeah, I like reading. I'll read a book when I go on holiday. It's like, but do you really like reading? Like, are you like sad that you can't read all the books in the world. I bet you're not.
Right.
It's crazy how fast you can meet people. Yeah. It went like, honestly, because I think I had my channel for like a month or something, and then like after that month, I think it was after you guys were talking about the buddy read, and then just after that, it was like, wow, now there's just all these different people that I constantly want to talk to. That I always feel bad that I can't, because like if I could, I'd just have a live with everyone on it, like all of the people that I've met. But then like one, StreamYard doesn't allow me to do that. Also, like if I was in alive with that many people, I would probably do this, because like I can't deal with big groups of people.
Yeah, I'm excited for our buddy read and our live show. I can't wait to get to it, to be honest. But
yeah, it's going to be so fun. I don't think I've read any fantasy by is she Asian American?
I think so.
Yeah.
Fonda Lee, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, at the moment I've got obviously Jade City. I've also got the is it called the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin? And I can't wait to get to that. I saw, you know, those adverts that pop up for Masterclass or whatever it's called. She had one that came up, and I swear she was talking. I didn't even realize it was her, and then it sort of clicked. I was like, wait, that's N.K. Jemisin. And then like I just was listening to her, and I got goosebumps just by listening to her talking about books and stuff like that. It was so cool.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
This season is phenomenal.
Forever thankful.
Yeah.
Was that your idea originally then? Because I know that you and Leah were the ones that were like.
I think Leah pitched the idea to me and said like, oh, because I think I mentioned I mentioned on a comment on her video that I wanted to read Jade City, and then she reached out to me and said, do you want to buddy read it? And I said, yeah. And then I think she asked, like, do you have anyone that would be interested in doing it? And like at that time I had been talking to like Sarah and I think Hallie and just like all of us that are kind of in that group. So I just kind of like brought it together.
And then Leah says Canadian American, but I'm confused now. Does that mean she's Asian Canadian American? Wait, what's her name?
Fonda Lee.
I like the name Fonda. So she's Canadian American.
Yeah.
With Asian ancestry, I'm guessing then. I never know how to like. Or to be fair, if we went around saying what everyone else's ancestry was, then it would take a while. It's a completely different thing. But it really amuses me when people like Donald Trump are like, oh yeah, I don't like foreigners, I don't like immigrants, and it's like, excuse me, but you've got like Scottish heritage, and like America, like the US is like, no one in the US is purely American because it's built on like immigration and stuff like that.
Right.
Thought it was the other way around.
It very well could have been.
God knows.
All that matters is that we're together now.
Yeah, we found each other.
Exactly.
It's also really nice because, like, to be fair, at first I was like, oh my God, there's loads of people that are like, you know, like 5-10 years older than me, right? And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna feel like an absolute baby. But it's actually really nice to like talk to people that aren't my age and like, oh yay, drinking, let's go out partying and everything like that. Especially here, when I was like a teenager in like the countryside in Denmark, the only thing they can do is go out drinking because they have nothing else to do.
Right.
Like that's their thing. It's like, and I'm not gonna lie, I think Denmark is the country with the highest rate of teenagers getting their stomachs pumped out because they drank too much alcohol. So
really?
It's great for me when I don't like partying and like drunk people scare me. But
yeah, I'm definitely out of that stage in my life.
Mm.
I do enjoy like a bottle of wine here and there, but
yeah, it's like I think the difference is, do you enjoy drinking alcohol? Do you like the taste of it? Or are you drinking alcohol to go a bit nuts and like to like it's fine if you're doing like a glass of wine to take the edge off of like a hard day. But like when I hear people that are like, oh yeah, I just drink like the cheapest vodka I can find to get myself wasted, it's like
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Chloe.
Yeah. I think it's time to end it. Otherwise I will be here until tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. It's been so much fun.
Bye, Leah, if you're still in the comments.
Yeah, bye, Leah. Talk to you later. Definitely will be doing a live with Leah again at some point.
Nice. All right, see you, Chloe.
See you later.